We need far more solid proof before
Oh
we can
my
hope to
gosh.
go charging in on our enemy.
Well, in the future,
here
we'll
you are.
be going there
I've
guns
been looking for
blazing.
you.
Hey, yo, Thierry.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that
Ooh.
place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
Oh, child!
What? Is
Child!
that someone you know?
Yo, what you
We know
doing here,
him.
bro?
Maybe even a little too well.
Yo,
Well,
what?
he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
Yeah, I don't
It's
even...
absurd, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't think
Wait,
that this is the
how?
one.
None of us.
Check out g2a.com for the best deals in games, peripherals, and also gift cards and more. Check out the link in the video description. Also, if you're new here to the channel, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you guys can get notified on my latest videos.
Hey yo, what is up guys? This is Wild One and welcome back here to my YouTube channel, and finally after some time we are now back once again here in Genshin Impact. Yeah, it's been a while. Also some weird stuff, or should I say some traumatic stuff actually have happened lately in my freaking personal life. So yeah, that's actually one of the main reasons on why it took me so long to start recording again. Oh boy. But yeah, anyways, we are now finally back here, folks. And we are now going to be continuing the freaking Archon quest. Like, we need to finish this because there is already a new part of the Archon quest, which is actually this one. Yo, are we going to see Lumin? I am not sure, but yeah. Hopefully I will not get freaking spoiled anytime soon. But yeah. Also, I have also recently landed myself a job, so yeah, I will be a lot more busier from now on. But yeah, in theory, I should still be able to stream without an issue on Twitch. I should also be able to make videos here for YouTube without an issue. Okie dokie. So we are now still at chapter 4, act 2. Man, we need to literally keep progressing in the game, eh? Okay, the truth lost with the rain. So pretty much as far as I remember, we talked with Navia. I do not remember on why we are here, but yeah. This is actually the investigation about the serial disappearances of a young woman. So far, the only thing that I can still remember is that Navia is mad at our freaking dragon dude from Fontaine. Like, I forgot his name, sadly. Yeah, it's been a while since I played any other games. Like, not gonna lie. The only thing that I have been playing lately is Honkai Star Rail.
Whoa.
Okie dokie.
What a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters.
Wait, I thought the
My father
headquarters was
who
the
asked for it to
small
be built
one.
like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And I think I'm starting to get why you like it.
Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon
Yeah,
has
you thought
this
this was
ship for
literally their
herself,
freaking
she's been convinced.
headquarters. So this is their real headquarters, eh?
Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
So I guess the one in the sewer is just a freaking outpost. Okay. Hold on. I'm actually detecting a freaking Yeah, there should be the freaking hydroculus thingamajig somewhere. Wait, hold on. Oh, I found it. Well, it seems like I'm jumping down here. Come on. Oh, it's actually left control, not left click. Okie dokie. Okay, I got it. Come on, Chevrus, swim. Oh my gosh. Yo, we literally just went out of the water right there. With style. Yo, it's actually huge, not gonna lie. Yeah, so far I have now became a Chevrus main at this point. Hello? Yeah, of course I cannot open that. Come on. Okay. Man, I actually wonder to myself, what's with me and 4-star characters? Like, my first main, which is also my first wife here in the game, which is actually official. And now I literally moved to Chevrus. Well, why am I staying in 4 stars still? That's what I'm actually wondering to my own self. I mean, not gonna lie, 4-star characters are just plain damn good.
Melus, we're back.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Melus?
Now
that
I
night,
remember
it was
what
raining?
actually happened in the last
Yes,
video.
the case was quite similar to that of Mr.
Okay.
Linney's.
So we're
Both
investigating
were
that
what you'd
one.
call impossible murders.
Could mastermind be the same person?
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant
Yep, that's
hallucinations.
drugs right there. That's
Wait!
drugs.
Didn't that
Oh my
guy
gosh.
who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Yep,
Boss's
that's literally
uncompromising
drugs right
attitude
there.
incurred the
Oh my
Synth
god.
Vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
And which she
Yes,
literally got
But the
convicted
enemy
for
was
it.
very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally,
Oh, so that's
he
how
was
he
able to
literally
convince
got
someone
into
to become
fucking
his informant.
prison.
The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then,
Man.
we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Ah,
How
damn.
did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
So we are investigating that piece of clothing. So they could have belonged to someone who got dissolved.
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person,
Man.
we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
But it's also possible that a third person was to
You're
blame.
right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with zero warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however,
Oh man.
even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your
Yo, the
father's
music.
butler, I must still offer a
Holy.
word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel.
Ah,
They are
man.
extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice.
So that's how you put some
Even though
emotion to
Spina
a
de
freaking
Rosula has
scene.
lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes.
Yeah.
to
Not gonna
step
lie,
back
the old man is
and give
right.
up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by.
Man.
Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Sheesh.
Nadia.
This
Holy.
is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be
Yeah,
quite
she's
reliable,
strong.
and more importantly, demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
So you do know something else, Maloose.
Yes.
Oh,
I do.
you had an information.
In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
Hey, yo.
What?
Dude.
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told
My
him that
God.
he had
My
no more than
God.
5 years left to live. And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina di Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained
Man.
safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to
So
you,
that's why
then
he was
and
actually
all those he
targeted.
told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right. So nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss.
God
To him,
damn.
dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful
Yeah, to him that
is
is
still
actually
far
a
preferable
great
than losing
honor, I
face
guess.
in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything
damn.
precisely because he never thought
So
I'd
there's
be able to
animations now for
understand
the
him.
tears.
Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want.
I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case,
Oh,
he really
man.
didn't need to give me an easy way out. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. Essentially,
Dude,
it's the enemy's headquarters.
that is
He was
very,
threatening
very...
the enemy boss.
That's a
didn't
very big load
share
of
the
information right
specifics of the
there.
incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to
Oh.
use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
So apparently Spinadero Sulo
If
can
we know where
already
the place is, can't we
take
just
the
go
whole
storm
entire
it in?
organization down on their
You
own
mustn't
whenever they
forget
want.
that we're fighting
But
against a
still.
mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then,
Oh
in that
man,
case,
it's war.
why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case.
Yeah, there could be double
We
agents.
have no idea just how
Not gonna
thoroughly
lie.
they may have been infiltrated.
That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot
Oh,
easier to prove
man.
the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but
man.
to serve the boss
That is
and
not a
Demoiselle's
simple
will.
butler, dude.
I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk
This
for
guy
your
is
sake.
one of those battle
But considering my
butlers.
relative lack
Or
of
battle
ability,
maids.
I've spent my time keeping
Oh,
secrets,
man.
performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Malus.
Yeah, Melus
Have
is
you
the
discovered
ultimate
anything
battle
new in the
butler.
past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people.
Man, that is
The
literally
first
smart.
is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
What is this confrérie?
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size.
Oh my
and
gosh, I'm going
prominence.
to have a hard time trying
In
to
the
pronounce
beginning,
stuff.
they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're, One of the richest guilds around, with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
Actually,
The
that
final
should be
suspect
easy.
is
Not gonna
Thierry,
lie.
the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If
Traitors
you want to
indeed.
investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Oh
Of
man, cautious indeed.
And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Aw, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
A new case awaits, my dear partner.
Okay, leave
I
it to
hope we
me.
can work together to uncover the truth.
I actually wonder,
end this case
is Jack's
once and for
family
all.
or Wax family or however you pronounce it. Yeah, I'm sorry I cannot pronounce it, but yeah, that dude's family, I actually wonder if they actually hate the Spina di Rusula. Although Melus did actually said that they were taken by the Spina di Rusula scare. I actually still wonder. Yo, there's actually a thingamajig right here. Let's go. Okay, Wax family, Yax family, or whatever you pronounce it. Goddamn, I'm going to have a hard time trying to pronounce the names, aren't I? Okay, dokie, let us visit them right here.
It
Okay.
is settled then. Please excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for
Yeah,
arranging everything for
Well, I
us,
mean, they
Malus.
aren't screaming at us yet, so I guess they believe that
Excuse me, miss.
you
Do you need
know,
anything from us?
her father is actually innocent. Well, except this girl. Oh no,
Murphy is all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
let's not bother her
I'm
for now.
sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques?
Oh, so the pronunciation is Jock.
I can
Oh,
understand
man.
the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you, and to all of us.
Yeah, this girl hates us.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us.
Man, someone ordered Jax to take out Callus.
I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callus had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You
Oh,
still feel like your
man.
papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons. Regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword. He must have done so to give you a better life.
Oh,
Yo,
Thank you
this part
for
is
everything
literally
you've
the
told
most
me.
emotional part
I
of the
will
quest.
definitely find the truth.
Oh
The current
man.
state of things is not something I'm willing to just sit back and accept.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Okay. Man. So that's a freaking testimony.
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be
Okie
nearby,
dokie.
and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city.
Hey
I'll
yo,
get
can I
myself
get
together
some
on
stuff
the way.
here?
So please don't worry.
Yo, there's something was actually blinking right there. I thought I can actually take some stuff. Okay, I cannot go to that. It's fine, it's fine. Come on, Chevrus, just run. Okay. What do we have here?
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let
Man.
me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation.
But where
Reason
did the
being,
first gunshot
Mr. Callis had left his
was
gun on the
aimed at?
table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
It's very
At least
possible.
from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys?
And then the other guy turned into
But
water.
hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
Very likely possibility.
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything, once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. Callis's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callis the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callis, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callis's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Man. Okay. So he actually sounds a bit loyal, at least. Hey, yo. Okay, we are going to the freaking guard. Okay. Isn't there supposed to be another guy right there? Oh man, it seems like we'll be fast traveling for this one. Okay, so here is the dude.
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off
Is
to
that really
Poisson
the
because
name
I
of
had
their
done
group?
something
The
wrong.
guard?
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that?
Dude, what?
Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callis did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city.
Oh
Anyway,
man. So
enough
that is what
chit-chat.
he was
Are these
thankful
two friends of
for.
yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I
Man.
couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the
Are you
mecha
really
serial numbers
asking
and
him that?
send them
Are you
after
the
me.
one?
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage.
Well, that
If you try
actually
to
makes
make
sense.
unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Makes sense.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
What do you mean officially in the clear?
Well, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be
Okay,
staying in the
it
city
seems
for a
like he
little
is
while,
clear,
so
not
just come
gonna
find me
lie.
if you need any support from
Especially
the
with the
guards.
freaking logic about the garden mix right there. But who knows? Who knows? Contact Marcel. Wait, is he here in the city of Fontaine? Yeah, he's actually here in the city of Fontaine. Okie dokie, yeah. Anyways, I'll try to get there. Okie dokie, I'm now back. Okay, here she is.
Hello. How may I help you?
I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
Yeah, where's Marcel?
Ah, Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh,
Everyone
man.
doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Yeah, we're famous.
Apologies. It's
We
just
famous.
how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve
Hold
in
on, I
water?
just noticed. Is that
Yes,
the dog
I
right
was
there in the
reminded of your father's
background?
case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea.
If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
God
Alas,
damn.
It seems things are heating up again.
Oh,
The peace that Callus sought so
that
dearly will
drink from the
soon become a
primordial
thing of the
sea.
past.
It was
But
not
rest
our
assured, Navi,
intention of literally
Poisson
drinking it. As
will
far as I
always remain a
remember,
safe
it was
haven for
literally
you.
an
If you're
accident
scared,
that
you
Paimon
can
has
always
actually
return there.
drank the
If
thing.
anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory. The confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more, see if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
Well, we lack information from Marcel, but yeah, that's probably because of his old age. We can't do anything about that. Um, hold on, are we going up there? Yep, we are. Man, I guess this will turn out into a wild goose chase. Just like the one with Linny. Oh man.
We've talked to all 3 suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
Yeah, none of them really stood out as a suspect.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start?
Jack's motive.
You're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Which he missed. Then of course her father would have done the second one. He would have fired a shot at all.
Oh? And why is that?
Could he guarantee his safety after killing Callus? No. Could he guarantee his family's safety after killing Callus?
Oh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the order and seek protection from my father.
Seems the third person was the one who derailed everything.
Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
The one that has a lot of Mora, which is actually Marcel.
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects. Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of Mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
Maybe it was someone else. Let's go with theory.
Thierry, you say? It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex for personal use. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering under wraps.
Yeah, had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check of the guard's inventory. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Maybe it was someone else. Yep. Florent.
Florent?
I do not
It is
really
true
think
that
it's
he was
Flora.
closest to my
Florent,
father,
though.
and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Yeah, that's what I was actually thinking as well.
He can't. And even if he could, I
That's
don't
the
think
same
he would
for
be able
Terry
to
as
dispatch
well.
a whole group so quickly.
Yeah, I think
Who could it be?
we don't have the answers though. I think who could it be? Okay, now we are literally going to do some investigating right here. Relevant, irrelevant. Okay, information regarding Florent. If we just consider the incident with the guard mechs, yeah. He cannot do that. I mean, this guy is the best one for the frigging guard mech since he literally has the huge sums of money for private use.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he laid out his case for the three, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
He is someone very close to you after all.
We still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
The synth production space.
Malus
Wait,
did
are we
say that
going
charging
there,
straight
guns
in there would be
blazing?
extremely risky, but we don't have any other options right now. We need far more solid proof before
Oh
we
my
can hope to
gosh.
go charging in on our enemy.
Well, in the future,
here
we'll
you
be going there,
I've
guns
been looking for
blazing.
you.
Hey, yo, Thierry.
Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that
Ooh.
place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
Oh, child!
What? Is
Child!
that someone you know?
Yo, what you
know
doing here,
him.
bro?
Maybe even a little too well.
Well,
Yo, what?
he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
Yo, I don't
It's
even...
absurd, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't think
Wait,
that this is the
how?
one.
None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge
Dude.
against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Yo, that would
Right,
literally cause a
because
freaking
they'll
war
think they've
against
already
the
found
Fatui
the culprit.
Harbingers and
Yeah, and
Fatui.
it'll be a lot
Oh,
harder
oh
then
no,
to clear Mr.
Fontaine,
Callus's
sorry.
name.
Yeah, it'll be a battle
I
between
understand.
Fontaine and the Fatui at that point.
Well, partner, what do you think we should do? We still haven't found any conclusive evidence.
Yeah, we need to save child right there. Let's split up.
Split up? What do you mean?
I'm confident in my combat capabilities.
Just as expected of my partner. Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Irenaeus, leaving his home base wide open. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
Leave it to
We'll
me.
help you, just like you helped us in Lenny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
Oh man, it's
I'm ready.
these dudes.
Ah, Malou, Silver. When did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance. It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, she needs
Then,
some guards
let's make
of her
haste for
own.
Arrhenius. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.
See you then.
Well, we're going guns blazing in the freaking headquarters. Yeah, I'm calling that as a drug den at this point,
Now that
since
Navi
that
has
is
set up for
literally where it's
Arrhenius,
actually
we should
made.
also get going.
Yeah, before I actually continue, guys. Yeah. Before I continue, I'm just going to end it right here. I think it's best to save the rest for the next video, guys. But goddamn, I literally heard that child was literally put on trial. I was like, yo, what did you do? Oh my gosh. Yeah, would that actually conclude as an act of war against you know the Saritsa, since they are going to kill one of their harbingers. So yeah, I'm not even so sure. But yeah, anyways, I guess all of those questions will actually be answered for the next video. So I have already finished Plague Tale Requiem, and I have no other games to actually play here on my YouTube channel. So yeah, it seems like we'll be stuck with Genshin for quite a while until I yeah, found another game to actually play. But yeah, anyways, that might not be a bad thing at all because I do not really mind. So anyways, guys, thank you very much, you guys, for watching this video. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and also make sure to check out my Twitch channel as well if you guys are currently interested in checking some of my streams. I play currently Honkai Star Rail, Doki Doki Literature Club, mods, of course, and yeah. From time to time, very rarely at this point, I currently stream War Thunder as well and Counter Strike. But yeah, guys, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.